Hi everybody, welcome back to the Claremont Classic Garage. Today we're going to do something that I've been waiting to do for, well, almost 2 years now, thanks to COVID. Say hello to the little blue bomb. This is one of our race cars. We race in the mini stock division at Peterborough Speedway in Peterborough, Ontario, Canada. Me and this car have not been on the racetrack since the last weekend in August of 2019. So it's been almost 2 years. The car's been laid up in the barn. I go over and start it up once in a while and move it around to make sure, everything's still relatively fresh. So what we're going to do now is we've received word that this Saturday the track is going to be open for open practice. And then the following Saturday is opening night, and we're going to start racing on Saturday nights like we're supposed to. So what I'm going to do is I got to kind of go over the car and make sure it's all good, service up what needs servicing up, check what needs checking, and I'll give you a little tour of it to start. This car started life as a 1995 Neon Coupe. It was raced by a buddy of mine. He got it off somebody that ran it at Capital City Speedway in Ottawa. The car was originally built by Ralph DeWinter at CSC Racing in Newmarket, Ontario. Ralph, God rest your soul, and thank you for doing such a great job building this car. I love it. I love it. I love it. Anyway, we ran the car for a couple of years, and eventually the body got so beat up that we needed to reskin it. And the Neon Coupe body is, well, not exactly the easiest thing to find. But at the time, there were second-gen Neons everywhere. In fact, my brother was just getting ready to retire the one that he was using as a daily driver. So we got my brother's car here. We drilled out every spot weld. We literally took the entire car apart, spot weld by spot weld. And we hung the 2003. We hung the 2003 body on our 95 chassis. And we added a SRT 4 nose because it just looks so cool. Anyway, that's the basic structure of it. You can see inside here, it's got a pretty nice cage. Basic instrumentation. It's got a fabricated steering column, a Kurt key seat. That's kind of a nice little car. Got my big monster tack. I like that. At the back here in the trunk, not much doing in here. There's lots of bars and an ATL fuel cell. The engine, it's had many different engines in it over the years. But right now, what's in it, it's a 99, I think, single overhead cam engine with a Magnum intake manifold, eBay long tube header, and that's about it, really. We use a A413 automatic transmission. They might call it something else, but the name of it changed. But to me, it's an A413, just like what was used in K cars. We use the twin cam version because it's got the better gearing for the track that we run. We use these Falcon Azenis RT615K tires. They're 205 50/15. We run offset race wheels on the right side and factory Steelies on the left. I guess that's about it for our kind of basic tour. So now we're going to get to work and get this thing ready to go on the track. first step is to crawl around underneath and put a socket or a wrench or something on every single fastener and make sure they're tight. I hit everything underneath and I found a couple of bolts that moved a tiny bit, but for the most part everything was good and tight. We checked the brake hoses, they're all good. The brake linings are all good. Wheel bearings, all that stuff, it all checks out. So now what I've done, I've come topside and I went around under the hood and we just, you know, check all the hose clamps and motor mount bolts and exhaust bolts and stuff like that. Everything seems good. All the electrical connections are good and tight. I've already checked the brake fluid. It's up. I checked the engine oil. It's up. Normally we would give it a fresh oil change for the new season, but the last time this car ran, we had just put this engine in it, and it's got about 40 laps on it. You know, one night of racing. So the oil still looks like honey. I'm leaving it. Fluid-wise, the last thing we have to do, the cooling system has got plumbing antifreeze in it right now. Once she's back on her feet, I can get it outside. I'll let that stuff drain out and fill it up with fresh water. And while we're at it, we'll check the transmission fluid, make sure it's up. Now we're going to move to the inside of the car. Not really a lot to do here. One thing I did check. Need new belts. Well, I ordered them already. They should be here tomorrow. Now we're going to give it kind of an operational check. So here is our master electrical switch. This here is the battery charging or boosting terminals. So the battery is live. Let me get a stool. The controls for this are pretty simple. That's our ignition. That's the starter button. Yes, I have an hour meter in it. It just on a lark. This car has been running for 69 hours since we built it. This here is a manual fuel pump switch. This one here turns the fan on. And this one originally was supposed to be for the dash lights, but I guess it doesn't do anything now because the dash lights seem to come on with the ignition. Anyway, what we want to do right now is go and make sure that our transponder is flashing under the car. That's for timing and scoring. Let's see, is she flashing? Yeah, good, transponder's working. Well, I guess I might as well crawl in there. Well, welcome to my office. What we're going to do now is I'm just going to flick the ignition on and see what lights work and don't work. First, we'll check our oil pressure light. Yeah, that's on. And I'm trying to see if the light on the tach works. Oh yeah, I can see through there. The light in the tach works. I brought in a piece of cardboard now. I got to see if the lights in these gauges work. I'll be back in a sec. Yeah, they all work. Now let's crank it up now and see, make sure our gauges all look normal. Want to check that it's charging, check that we've got oil pressure. Oh, our check engine light is flashing stuff at us. So it's charging, we got lots of oil pressure. That bubble in the gauge was me opening the valve to the accumulator to charge it. That protects the engine if it loses oil pressure in the turns, or you know, it also helps you prime it when you first start it up. We also have an AEM wideband air fuel gauge in here. That's how we keep tabs on it. That's very important. You need to keep an eye on that because a lean out melts stuff. That little flower, I don't know, I found it in the ground at the racetrack one day and it's been in there for years. All right, that all seems good. Shut her down. Now I'll show you what the oil pressure accumulator does. So I'll show you now how this thing works. At the beginning of the season, the first thing we do is we leave the valve, the hand valve open, and we blow up this gauge to about 80 psi. What that does is it pushes the piston all the way to this end and forces all the oil out of it. So you're starting from scratch. Once you know you've done that, you let this back down to, Moroso says 6 psi. That's a little hard to see on this gauge the way it's graduated, but we're there. We're somewhere between 6 and 10. So now we've done that, and what we'll do now, leaving the valve open, we'll start the engine, and you should see that pressure gauge go shooting up, which will mean that it's basically filling this with pressurized oil from the engine and pushing the piston back, compressing the air. So what happens now, you've got this volume of oil here with pressurized air behind it. And if the oil in the oil pressure in the engine becomes less than this starts pushing it back, trying to balance that. And then when the engine oil pressure comes back up, it pushes it back. So it's constantly modulating to try and protect the engine. So let's see here. Let's start it up and see what happens. There she goes. There, so it's fully charged now. So if we were going to turn the engine off, we close the hand valve, which will trap that pressurized oil in there and shut our engine off. So there you have it. That air pressure gauge went up to 60. So now we come back later, we want to start the engine. Watch this. Put the ignition on. I'm going to open the hand valve now. Watch the oil pressure gauge. Look at that. We just pre-lubed our engine. Isn't that great? These accumulators are pretty popular with the off-road guys because, you know, they operate, it's not really high G's with them. It's more extreme angles and stuff. But anyway, that's what the oil pressure accumulator does. So we've got it all charged and ready to go for the race season. Now what I'm going to do is put the wheels back on it and get it on the ground. Well, that's pretty good. We got it out. We've got it, you know, kind of nut and bolt inspected and give it a full operational check. So everything works. Everything's good. We're just waiting on our new seat belts to come so we can get them changed. And I still have to get the plumbing antifreeze out of it and get water in it. In the next video, we're going to get into checking all the chassis stuff, like the caster, the camber angles, the toe settings, and stuff like that. And I'll explain to you some of the ways that we're able to adjust on it. Anyway, that's good. I'm very happy. We're going to be getting back out on the racetrack. So be sure to tune into the next video when we get into that other stuff. And until then, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you later. So long.